Hello everybody, Ben here, and today's layout update video number 8. First off, the first piece of proper scenery on the corner next to the track was completed. I added a piece of rail next to the signal as well, which goes along with the old sleeper there as well. Some extra details is the tablecloth on the table there is the mask from my Christmas video, and the figure in the doorway of the Nissan hut is from the same video as well, which is the manager from the railway. I'm very pleased with this, and hopefully eventually the whole layout will be like it is now. And the signal is something that I like a lot, with the fact that it can go up and down and has a light that turns on and off. Next up, I have stuck down some newspaper to create a field which is eventually going to house some cows in, and should hopefully look like the other field that I've already done, and hopefully will be covered in the next layout update video. I've also finished building this water tower kit here. I built the actual water tower and the coal crane and the actual water tower thingy I don't know the name of. That was painted and built and glued all together. It looks quite nice now. Everything works well. Obviously, as you can see, the pannier tank here simulating what would happen. It'd be nice if the crane could actually move, but I don't know if I could actually do that. This here is just a few old pipes stick together to be the actual water tower thing. That little base with the coal, I think, tower crane thing could actually go on top of it. And the water tower doesn't have actually water in it yet though. It needs some more details added, but overall I'm pretty happy with it. It isn't quite as detailed as what the kit said it was supposed to look like, but I just built it as I like it to look, and I think it has enough detail that it looks fine of how it is. The coal bucket's definitely weird with all the pieces to actually glue it back on, but overall I'm very pleased with how it looks. I've also built this water tower kit, as you can see, it's been glued and painted together. Looks quite nice. It sort of is a smaller one and goes next to the shed here. This obviously has also the little cup thing for the water to drip into. I think this is what's called a fire devil as well, that is part of the kit as well. And this tank here is just glued onto cocktail sticks and painted black. That is actually from a failed wagon kit that I tried to build. The chassis you can see in the background, and that is just going to be used for spares. It overall is pretty good though. I think the tank, it works well, being rusted up. That's the chassis there, as you can see. It doesn't really like to roll along very easily and has a variety of pieces left. We've got the wheels. If I put them in the wagon, you can see how bad it really is and how badly I failed on it. It doesn't really, just crumbles in, the wheels don't fall in properly. It's all weird really, I don't know. So that's just used spares along with this other coal bunker from my other loco that you'll see later on in this video. This is the wagon kit that it was, the quality line Pecco Grampus Engineers wagon. These are all the pieces cut out here. This is now how far I actually managed to get in the whole thing, and then the body was sort of stuck together, but then it didn't really work, and it sort of fell apart. Another thing is that I've been messing around with this track plan in the engine shed. The thing I've decided to do is add this extra siding, where I'm going to be adding a cleaning / maintenance depot siding, which is going to have an inspection pit, and is accessed by this point here. I've got those two there, so that may depend on which one it is, I'm not sure really. One's a bit longer, so it adds a bit more space, so we'll have to see, but that might be done in the future because I'm not working on the engine shed for a while yet, at least anyway. I also actually managed to build a wagon kit this time. This is a Pecco one that I've put together here. It's a 10-foot tank wagon kit. It is a very nice kit to put together. It's kind of more involved than, say, the other ones like the flank wagons and the mineral wagons and the vans. But it is quite a nice kit, a bit more complicated. I glued it together instead of using the nuts because I can't really do them. And then it was simply put together, and I think I'm quite happy with it. And then it was weathered here, as you can see. Tank was sort of dirtied up and then smudged down to simulate rain, and the chassis was also rusted up, and that looks very nice. A major thing that has been finished this time is this custom loco that I've made over a few videos. It has this wagon that I'll go in more detail in later in this video, and it also is this one here. I covered it like I said earlier, so I'm very pleased with it in this very interesting blue livery. It's a fictional loco from the Mayholt and Leitwater Railway that I hopefully want to build more locos of, and it's not to be confused with the name of the layout, the Mayholt and Leitwater Heritage Railway. That runs on the old track bed of the Mayholt and Leitwater Railway. May be a bit confusing to some people, but that's how I think it is. Might change it in the future, but probably is going to stay. The wagon I'm using is this Grainfart 6 blank wagon. It's a bit weird with these weird axles and weird couplings, but it worked well for what I wanted to do. One end of the wagon was cut off and sanded down a bit for a cocktail stick to be glued in, and that will then hold in the coal, which we'll see later on. This is it here now being painted brown. It looks pretty nice like this. It's not the finished product yet. You can also see the cocktail stick is now being glued in and painted as well. That looks pretty good. And then it's being filled with ballast. This is going to be what the coal's like. The chassis is also now being weathered in a rusty colour to simulate it's not being used. I know the loco that it goes with isn't really dirty, but I like the idea that they look after the locos and coaches a lot less than the wagons. Obviously that probably is standard, but even though it works with the loco, I think that makes sense. This is now the wagon in its finished form. It has a replaced buffer similar to one that I've done on the loco, just made out of cocktail stick. Some wires added across the top there. I think that just adds a bit more detail, a bit wonky, so a bit damaged. And a little coal barrel added there, as well as all the coal being painted black, similar to what I've got on the loco as well. That looks pretty nice and works well. And overall, with it being weathered, I think it works very well. It looks very nice running behind it and is inspired by industrial locos having this in real life. I think they were used for increased capacity of coal, whatever did that barrel. Might be like a 40 litre barrel or whatever, I don't particularly know, to add extra water capacity as well. I don't know too much about them, but I think it works pretty well and looks very nice in my opinion. New stock this time includes this Dapol Class 35 High Mech. It's a very nice loco with in the BR green with no yellow panels. I've fitted these sort of route indicator things on the front of the model. Bit growly, but overall I'm very pleased with it, and eventually there'll be a review of it. These here are the different sort of route indicator things lit up. It's a bit hard to do, but I think they look quite nice. Next up is this Dapol Mark 1 coach in the BR Blood and Custard livery. It is a very nice coach. I might do a review of it. It has pickups. Might eventually add light bar in there, and joins the other Mark 1 coach to form a passenger train on the Heritage Railway. Next is this Southern Railway luggage van. It's a very nice one, although it is quite long, so it does derail on some curves. It, however, joins the freight train on the railway, which includes this tanker wagon, as well as a freight van and a 16-ton mineral wagon to join the freight train. The freight van is a picker one. In the civil engineers one, it is a very nice freight train. I think it might need an extra engineers wagon, but that is going to be pulled by the High Mech. That will also pull passenger trains, such as the Mark 1 train that I showed earlier, like this here, as you can see. But overall, I'm very pleased with the freight train and everything else featured in this video. I'll now leave you with a few shots of some trains running on my layout. I hope you enjoyed this video by me. Please like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below with some video ideas or feedback. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.